Imagine this. One heartbeat. You're reveling in the illusion of your flawless existence. And the next, crash. A single, venomous phone call shatters it like a mirror struck by lightning, splintering your world into 1,000 jagged pieces. But I'm spiraling ahead. Let me yank you back to the dark, tangled dawn of this soul-crushing odyssey, because I swear the labyrinth I stumbled into is more convoluted, more treacherous, than any nightmare you could conjure. I'm Nia, 31, a woman who, until that fateful, cursed day, believed she'd conquered life's savage battlefield. My husband, Dion, and I were shackled for 7 grueling years, envied by all with our chic Atlanta condo, steady careers, and hushed dreams of a child to carry our legacy. Security? An impregnable fortress. Happiness? A shimmering mirage teetering on the edge of collapse. I dominated tech sales, hawking payroll software to corporate behemoths across the Southeast. The paycheck? A king's ransom when you're a shark like me, and I was a predator of the highest order, stalking boardrooms, taming rigid executives with a disarming smile, and a pitch that sealed fates before their coffee turned tepid. Dion? No passive pawn. He was a tempest of control, cloaking his iron fist in debates he'd already rigged, dictating our nightly rituals, chaining our weekends, micromanaging every penny. Defy him, and his guilt-drenched barbs would slice through your spirit like a blade. Sales is a dance of connection, and I was its unrivaled choreographer, especially with men. Not sleazy ploys, just a gift to elevate them to godhood, laughing at their stale jokes, crowning their egos as geniuses. Business, I chanted like a mantra. Yet, after 7 years, Dion's grip became a noose. His subtle stabs, late from a pitch, he'd sneer at the cold, forsaken dinner. Drinks with colleagues, he'd interrogate me like a criminal under a spotlight. The exhaustion was a slow poison, defending my every breath to a man who pledged trust but delivered suspicion. Then, like a thunderclap from a storm-ravaged sky, Khalil descended. COO of a financial titan downtown, his account was my golden grail, a career pinnacle that could elevate me to legend. First meeting in his opulent office, I sensed his otherness. Mid-30s, a commanding presence devoid of arrogance, eyes that devoured my every syllable with hunger. Sessions? Immaculately professional at first. But a wildfire ignited between us, a chemistry dormant for eons, crackling with forbidden promise. Meetings stretched, hourly slots exploding into epic battles of intellect on market tides, visionary strategies, even the deepest philosophies of success. He'd escort me to the elevator, our conversations spilling into another 15 electrifying minutes. I craved these clashes like a parched soul craves rain, masking it as deal-driven zeal. Khalil was Dion's antithesis. Reckless, ambitious, a mind that danced with mine in a duel of wits. He'd whisk me to hidden culinary sanctuaries, text articles with notes like, "This screams your brilliance from last week." He saw me, mind, heart, soul, not merely a puppet in Dion's watchful cage. I transformed for him, couture outfits that screamed power, makeup sculpted like art, hair a cascading masterpiece, client polish, I lied to my reflection, but my heart confessed. It was for Khalil's piercing gaze. Dion, blind as a bat, or feigning it with chilling precision. Late nights drew his venomous barbs, snide jabs about living at the office, abandoning our sacred union. No warmth, just resentment piling like a gathering tempest. Hindsight wails a siren, the line blurred in a slow, seductive descent into damnation. Khalil praising my earrings with a voice like velvet, me spilling Dion's blindness to my fresh cuts and bold choices. He'd absorb my marriage rants, nights of suffocation, days of indifference, with a gaze that offered no judgment, only a lifeline to breathe. Our first kiss? After a marathon lunch sealing a deal, the air thick with tension. In the shadowed parking garage, he rasped, "Nia, the unvarnished truth," and claimed my lips with a ferocity that set my blood ablaze. A volcano erupted within me, lava coursing through every vein. I should have recoiled, shrieked married, and fled into the night. But no, I devoured him back, a starved soul finally tasting desire. For once, I was wanted, not dissected by a husband's cold scalpel. Chaos erupted like a volcano breaching the earth. Khalil pitched extra reviews, our clandestine code for passion's lair. First alone in his office, I shed my ring like a shedding snake, stashing it as if it burned. Pretended freedom, even for a stolen hour. His assistant, Tasha, a prim, judgmental sentinel, glared with eyes that saw through my facade, sniffing the betrayal like a bloodhound. But I was intoxicated on the thrill, alive after Dion's soul-crushing routine. We collided 3-4 times weekly. Clandestine lunches in shadowy hideaways where ghosts of discretion lingered, after-hours office trysts when silence cloaked our sins. Khalil crowned me, brilliant, sexy, a phoenix reborn. Everything Dion had forsaken years ago. No grand affair blueprint. It crept. One whispered word, one searing kiss, one lie to Dayon. Soon a dual existence. Obedient wife in our sterile home, wildfire with Khalil in his domain. Intoxicating beyond reason, a drug I couldn't quit. Excuses cascaded like a broken dam. Client delays stretched into eternity. Traffic a merciless beast. Paperwork a dungeon of despair. Dayon's eyes narrowed to slits. A predator sensing prey, but no explosive confrontation. Just passive-aggressive daggers on my distraction, dodging my days with a wall of silence. Truth? Khalil was my heartbeat, my forbidden symphony. Couldn't share that poison with the man who owned my vows. Generic grunts sufficed. His icy stare knew I withheld secrets, too proud or too broken to probe deeper. Khalil resurrected pre-Dion me, fierce, desired, a tempest of thrill. Dion's mechanical intimacy, a cold crypt of obligation. Khalil? A storm of passion, spontaneity, devotion that seared my soul. Dreading home after his blaze was a dagger to my conscience. Yeah, brand me villain, cheater, liar, destroyer. But feel this. Fading in your own love. A ghost haunting a marriage of routine and indifference. A slow death under a husband's unyielding expectations. Our meets deepened, half strategy sessions, half soul-stripping confessions. He bared dreams, frustrations, fears. I unearthed buried truths, scars I'd hidden even from myself. Built a bond raw, real, a sanctuary amid the chaos. Woke trembling on Khalil days, sculpting myself. Outfits a warrior's armor, makeup a war paint, hair a banner of defiance for his worshipful gaze. Guilt stabbed with every Dion lie, but I flipped it. His neglect, his emotional starvation, drove me to this edge. Khalil hinted at futures. My marital prison, Dion's mismatch, a life unlived. Red flags. No, a mirror reflecting my truth. He saw my asphyxiation, craved my liberation with a fervor that matched my own. Months bled like open wounds. I plunged deeper, not severing ties. He became my lifeline, my truest self, the pulse I'd lost. Then, cataclysmic ruin. Should have known eyes tracked, frequent drops, epic lunches. My glow at his name a beacon of guilt. Invincibility blinded me, a moth to a fatal flame. Tuesday inferno, prepping for Khalil, phone shrieks like a banshee's wail. Trembling voice. Dion's wife! Must tell him, alone, away from your poison. Gut imploded, a black hole swallowing hope. Knew it was us, our illicit dance exposed. Played dumb, voice a fragile mask. What's this about? Bank staff, Khalil's aide. Hubby needs the office's dark secrets. Tasha had us pegged, a vengeful torchbearer ready to ignite my world. Begged, voice cracking. Misread, please. Useless, she'd detonate Dion with gleeful precision. Froze, World crumbling. Marriage a shattered vase. Reputation a smoldering ruin. Life a wasteland. Considered warning Khalil. Futile, the die was cast. Sealed fate loomed like a guillotine. Dion home, a glacier's unyielding stare, colder than death. No roar, no chaos, just a chilling, sit, we talk. No Khalil. Office snitch spilled every filthy detail. Could have lied, spun a web of innocence, but his gaze pierced my soul, a judge's gavel. Months, I choked, voice a whisper lost in the void. Ring off there? That detail, a dagger to my heart, how could he know? No escape. Felt wrong, a betrayal of us, I mumbled, eyes to the floor. Pack, crash at your cousin's, tomorrow decides your doom. Please died in my throat. His wall, a fortress of frost, unyielding. Wanted to scream, explain, not a fling, a desperate cry for life. But his silence, a tomb, cousin's spare bed. Khalil haunted me, a ghost of passion and regret. Shattered vows for him. Did he mirror my inferno, or was I a fool? Morning, Dion's summons, a judge's decree. Fix us, he intoned, voice a serpent's hiss. Forgive if you bleed to rebuild, claw your way back. Relief flooded, redemption's faint glimmer. One demand, email his firm, bear the affair's every sin. End it, loud, final, a public execution. Horror seized me, a vice on my chest. Ruin Khalil's empire? My shame paraded for all? Savage, inhuman. Begged alternatives, voice breaking, but ultimatum roared, email or divorce, a guillotine's choice. Typed under his hawk eye, a prisoner's confession. Meats, lunches, every sordid breath laid bare. He dictated, amplifying the filth with sadistic glee. Send clicked, Khalil's career guillotined, my soul branded. But marriage salvation? Worth the blood, the tears, the ashes? Days taut as a drawn bowstring, yet hopeful embers glowed. Dion reached, talks like fragile threads, closeness a tentative dance, future dreams a fragile mirage. Proved my soul with every step, ignored Khalil's fallout, till his scream call, a banshee's cry. What the hell did you do? Suspended, probed, career dead from your bomb. Explained no choice. Voice a plea, he vowed my ruin. You'll crash too, Nia. I'll bury you. Boom. Week later, my firm's complaint avalanche, a tidal wave of judgment. Swift execution, reputation torched, career reduced to ash and echoes. Devastated, Dion cradled me. Us against the abyss. Believed healing vibes, a phoenix from the flames. Weeks, bonds mended like cracked porcelain, plans sparked like dying embers. Thought resurrection, a triumph over ruin. Then Dion's apocalyptic bomb. Divorce, now. Staggered, world spinning. Thought forgiveness, a new dawn? Never forgave, he snarled, voice a glacier's edge. Just ensured you and he burned like me, ashes of my trust. Trap, fake fix to manipulate my self-destruction, a master stroke of vengeance, played me like a pawn on his chessboard. You deceived me, rage quaked, a volcano's roar. You cheated, lied daily, a dagger to my heart. Ring off for office lust, consequences, Naya. Papers ready weeks, while I dreamed repair, he schemed my fall. Every move a calculated massacre, a symphony of ruin. Khalil was right. Marriage cage, bored, escape hungry, a caged bird. Here's your freedom, enjoy the wreckage. Months later, divorce sealed, a death knell. Kept condo, rent solo, a cruel jest, jobless and broken. Dion strides free, a victor's crown. I'm wreckage, no man, no gig, no honor, no horizon, a ghost in my own tale. Khalil, perma-blacklisted, jobless hell, reputation razed like a battlefield. Rep fried like mine. His Dion rants? Lawyered, restraining order, a final severing. Year on. Retail grind, pennies bleeding like open wounds, savings gasping their last, plotting comeback in a shunned field where whispers follow. Encounters sting, pity judgment glares, a fair parable etched in their eyes. But they miss my fade. Slow death in routine's vice, indifference's abyss, a soul suffocating under Dion's unyielding yoke. Khalil and I clawed for a post-ruin bond, a lifeline in the debris. But bitterness builds tombs. Too shattered, too enraged, too lost in what we've forfeited to forge anew. What if I'd axed Khalil early, a clean break, fought Dion's fix with every ounce of will? But recall his stranglehold, my ghosting, Grant stolen, love bled dry. Inevitable? Perhaps, a tragedy foretold. Sins mine, hurt hurled like spears, ties torched like kindling, careers crushed underfoot. But not soul demon. Dion chose vengeance over love's redemption, deceit over truth's light, ruin over healing's balm. Khalil chased wedded prey, risks a siren's call he heeded. Choices ours, scars a shared tapestry. Dayon sails unscathed, reputation a golden shield, career soaring like an eagle, future blazing with promise. Khalil and I? Rubble rebuilds, branded villains in a tale too complex, too human, to judge with simple scorn. But I rise, a phoenix from these ashes. Won't let this scar me eternal. Bad moves? A litany of regret. Bad heart? No, never. Craved life's pulse, desired with a lover's fire, treasured with a friend's gaze, seen with a soul's depth. Is that unforgivable? Judge me, but know my story. Raw, flawed, alive.